Welcome back to Death Toll Racing Dyno Tuning Day. This is a very long and tedious process on builds like this. So to start off with, we are going to put the stock flex fuel injectors back in. Since we're just running 91 octane, if we were actually running flex fuel, they wouldn't be big enough. Or E85. But these will be big enough probably for this whole tune all the way through. So that is something. Those injectors that I put in there are overkill. So we're going to put these ones back in, and then we are going to do a base run on it, which is a boring run just to kind of see where everything's at. We have the timing tables turned way back, and we have it so it should be running extremely on the rich side. And then after we get that, we'll diagnose what we have to do from there. Okay, after our little baseline test, we did find that it doesn't like the spark plug gap as wide as I had it. I had it at 40. We're going to squeeze it down to 32. So back come the injector rails off, and I will get those swapped out, and then we can actually start doing some pulls. But we had a little bit of a misfire once it started generating some boost. Okay, so we were having trouble getting the timing to come back, and we believe that was because of the intake air temp was around 160 degrees, which is, well, basically it's way too hot. So what we're going to do, and I know I talked about this earlier during the build, is we are going to add a water meth kit. So I'm doing this so that we can just kind of clip it onto the battery, just doing a very, very get it done type install, just so it'll work on the dyno. We will do a detailed install of this once we get the car back to the shop.
That time it allowed 14 degrees of timing, right where I wanted it. The little tiny fucker.
What do you think, the green one?
Sure.
338, 356. That's the highest since we started fine tuning it. Way better. It's not going to hurt anything going a little rich for a second. Almost got the 340. I think I'm going to turn it. Let me just turn it up. It won't change anything. I'm just going to turn it up. Like one more. It didn't seem to make too much of a difference on the food. Pretty good. It's actually almost leveling it out. It almost likes it better.
Boost, please.
At some point, my wastegate spring will start to fail.
Yeah.
I'll have to change it. I did bring horse, 395 torque though. Of course, skyrocketing.
Yeah, torque's coming up.
And it's not changing the air fuel as much as you think. Yeah.
Good. So, regulate.
All right, guys, I got it up on the lift, and it is what I was expecting. There's 4 holes in the block. I can show you some of them. I lost my flashlight, though. Well, here's this while I look for my flashlight. I still don't see. Oh, there it is. I see it. So anyway, there's 4 holes in the block, 2 on either side, all the front cylinders. So if you look up there, basically look over our oil line and you can see one of them. And then there's the other one. And then on the other side, I'm not even going to try to show them to you because you can't see them. It's hard to see them, even not on camera, because they're right behind the AC compressor and behind the motor mount. But it's the front 4 cylinders all have holes in the block. Maybe 2 rods, maybe 4. Who knows? I only found the one journal. So most likely broke the pistons around the wrist pins, and then the rods let go, and then they spun and then broke up from there. That's probably what we're going to find happened. I'll bet. In fact, at the end of this, I'll throw an inspection camera up and show you what the bottom of the pistons look like. So yeah, it totally sucked. We went up way higher than I was expecting to go. It really liked it as far as the dynamics of the engine. I really liked it. It ran insanely good, really consistent. And like insanely consistent, like within a horsepower every pull. It ran great, but on that test run, I don't know really what happened, but one thing I did notice is I didn't hear the blow-off valve, and he was pedaling it quite a bit, and I wasn't hearing a blow-off valve. It's possible, it's the first time we drove it, it's possible I just couldn't hear it, because it is loud, because the wastegates are right under the seats, and so they're kind of loud. And then when that thing hooked, holy crap, did that thing pull. It was mainly a tire fire, so it only hooked for like a second, where you could feel it, and then it just lit the tires off again. So it's just, it's really tough to say. So it really feels like it had more power than that dyno was showing, but at the same time, you know, numbers are numbers. It's where those numbers come into play is a whole different story. And if you notice, the horsepower and torque are right above each other. And that's a really good thing for performance. So we'll see. So let me know what you guys think I should do. Should I build a bottom end so it can hold that kind of power? Or should I turn it down and just put another stock motor in it? Being that it's a budget build, I mean, I feel like that's kind of the right thing to do. But I believe my top end is still good, so I really only need a short block. Anyway, let me know what you think I should do. I don't really want to go 5/4 swap. I don't really want to start swapping anything because we spent a ton of time on that tune, and we got it so good. It's tuned so good, and it's tuned so good I can literally just turn down the boost, and all it does is fatten up the mixture under full boost, just flat. It just moves the line down, just goes a little fatter, which is totally fine to do, and it shouldn't hurt it. So we were at, the way we had it set up, about 11.9, which is exactly where you want to be on a turbo car like that. We had it right there, the way it was set up, but I was at way higher pressure than I wanted to be. And it was pretty much at the limit of the turbos because we turned it up beyond that on the dyno, and it actually made less power. So which means we hit that cavitation number in the air. We hit the max airspeed that the air can be going through our 2.5-inch tube. At where we're at, we can turn it down until we get down to about 8 pounds, which is where I wanted to be anyway. Which ended up being, and it's really tough to say because we're also playing with air fuel ratio curves and stuff, but it'll end up being about 340 foot-pound or 340 horsepower, but the torque increases, so it may not be that much slower. Plus, I can't hold it to the ground anyway, to be perfectly honest. That was probably slower than if we turned it down because you couldn't even hit the gas and get into the booster, it just lit the tires off. So granted, we could put stickier tires on it, and we will. I'll probably use the rear tires on this on the front of the Caprice, and then I'll buy 2 sets of the exact same tires, or 4 tires for both this and the Caprice, so that we're head-to-head on them exactly. The problem is I know if I put another stock block in this thing, it is technically going to be short on horsepower to the Caprice. However, it's going to have probably a way broader torque curve, and a way broader power band being turbo. I mean, the horsepower and torque on this thing were just flat high. They didn't, no peaks. It was just the number you made. It wasn't just some peak number that stuck up. That was it made that for like 2,000 RPM, so or close to it. So anyway, let me know what you think. You'll be seeing me again soon. I'm not sure what the next video out is going to be. We did get some new welders. I finally replaced that big Lincoln, so I have TIG welders now. I got the Omni Pro Harbor Freight welder and the Pro TIG Harbor Freight welder. Not at all what I wanted, but I am so far impressed with them, but I haven't used them very much. So I'll let you know what I think. Not sponsored videos, so if they're pieces of crap, you'll be the first to know. So anyway, thanks for watching. Again, comment below. Let me know what you think I should do, and we will see you again soon. All right, guys, so here's inside the motor. That was the main journal that you're looking at there, and then a connecting rod that's squeezed. The top of the screen there, that, well, used to be the top of the screen, is a connecting rod that's squeezed in sideways. That's a wrist pin just sitting there at the bottom of the cylinder, and then you can see the oil ring and then a couple rings up in the cylinder, and the bottom of the piston is broken off around the wrist pin, which is what I was expecting to see. So once that broke off, then the rods just start swinging, and it's just destruction from there, and that's what we saw. So after doing a little bit of research on these, I guess those pistons are pretty weak. I guess they have a lot of silicone and stuff in them, and I guess they are pretty easy to break. So I believe the safe limit for that stock block is going to be around 8 pounds. And I mean, obviously you can make a lot more than that. Here's a rod. It's actually in the cylinder upside down somehow. So the end that you're looking at there, I believe that's the wrist pin end. And then the rest of the rod is going up into the cylinder upside down. So it's kind of funny how that got flipped over. They're just part of it anyway. Anyway, I guess the pistons are the weak point, and the rods themselves are not very strong either. So pistons and rods, I guess, are basically how we can get this thing to handle that all that power. So I'm still debating on what to do or not, but there are rotating assemblies, forged rotating assemblies available for these things, and they're not very expensive. So we may go that route. We will see. So thanks for watching. We'll see you again next week.